Hey guys, I'm Matt Hernandez and we are out at the baseball field. It's not actually baseball season or even baseball weather. You can see I've got my little toboggan on here. So it's a little windy and a little chilly, but I thought that this would be one of the best ways that we could display the power of brand new Westcott FJ800. I've been waiting for this for several years. I'm really excited they finally came out with it. And they were nice enough to send me one to go ahead and test out before it's actually released here in a couple weeks. And we actually have the FJ400 too also. So it's the new updated version of the FJ400 that I helped shoot the campaign on. I guess, I don't even know how many years ago it was, probably 5 or 6 years ago. So I've used those lights ever since, and they've upgraded those and then given us a more powerful version. So that's what we're gonna actually highlight today. We're gonna use the 400 maybe if we need it as a supplement, but the main thing that we're gonna do is show what this light can be used for, because one of the biggest questions people are gonna have is, do I need a light that's 800 watt seconds? And my answer to that would be, not everybody's gonna need it, and you're probably not gonna need it all the time, but there are situations where you definitely will need it. I'm gonna try to show you a couple of those situations that might come in handy today. So that's why I wanted to pick baseball, because I knew that we could use an infielder to kind of throw across the frame, get a wide angle shot where I would have to back the light up quite a bit to light him. And so we're on the third baseline here. You can see the sun is coming from camera right where I'm being videoed from. So if a third baseman is playing defense throwing to first, it's going to be on his right-hand side. And he's also going to be throwing the ball, obviously, from right to left to first. So we've got a nice natural edge light with the sun. So the main light, the 800, can be out in front a little bit and probably over in this direction. So in order to do that, to get a horizontal shot, you're going to have to have a lot of power. So this is one full stop more than the 400. So that should give us, with the help of the deep focus reflector, enough to reach if a third baseman's throwing across the diamond, or any position is doing anything like that, throwing across like that, where you need a horizontal picture. You could do it tight, you could shoot it tight and shoot it vertical, but I want to have the option for both, because there are situations where I don't want vertical. And then we've also got, we're going to do some pitching shots too. We're going to try some from above and try to showcase the recycle time and how fast it is. And then we're also going to show the benefit to having, you can use the 400 for portraits outside in the middle of the day like this when it's sunny, and I've shown that many times. Other photographers have too. It's definitely possible with a 400 watt second light. However, you usually have to use hard light with something like a deep focus reflector, and that can be good. But what if you want soft light? Well, you can't underexpose the background as much with soft light in the middle of the day when it's bright and sunny, can you? No, because you've got layers of diffusion. The diffusion is going to soften the light, but it's also going to kill the power of the light. So if you want to use something like this Octa L with 2 layers of diffusion to make the light nice and soft, then what do? Well, that's hopefully going to solve this problem. Whereas in the past, we would have had to use this deep focus and get really hard, sharp shadows and also really deep, dark shadows. Hopefully this is going to soften that up and give us that nice soft light that we can use whenever there's not as much ambient. So that's what we're going to go for. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to meter my shot. We're going to put one of our players on third base here and take a portrait with the sun behind him as our edge light, all right? So I'm going to angle him where his back is towards the stands behind home plate. And so when I pull my camera up, I've got matrix metering on. I've got my Sony A7R5 and 24-70 2.8. It's the GM2. So I'm going to shoot this at f5.6. If I shoot at 2.8, it's going to really blur out the background, which is okay. But I kind of want the stands to be a little bit visible back behind him. It doesn't have to be totally out of focus. And I'd rather go up on my shutter speed I'd rather go up on my f-stop, not my shutter speed, because we're going to have to use high-speed sync. So when I use matrix metering and pull this up, so if I'm at 1/2000th f5.6, that looks, now my camera is telling me that that's overexposed, but I think that's probably because I'm looking directly into the sun. But when I take a shot and look at it, because sometimes the camera can lie to you, I can see the sky. It's got nice saturation to it. The sun is definitely defined. So I feel like that's the exposure that I want. I always tell people to use the in-camera meter. For some reason this time it isn't really giving me like technically what I want, because it's telling me I'm like 2 stops overexposed. I know that's not the case. I'm at 1/2000th f5.6, so I think that's probably what we want. That's a full stop brighter. So if I go down to f4, which is 1 stop less, the sky's a little bit too bright. It's getting really blown out by the sun, and it's not the end of the world. That would be fine. That's what we'd have to use with the FJ400. But with the 800, we're able to get a stop more power. That sky becomes a little bit darker. So I'm going to take some portraits with that, with both layers of diffusion in. Normally when I do an athlete shoot, I want to take some nice safe portraits before I get into the action, let them warm up a little bit. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so I've got him. The reason we're in this spot is because I want that light in the background, if possible. We are a little bit close to it, but I feel like if I shoot at this angle with that light in it, it's going to be a little bit too small. We may try that if this doesn't work, but I'm going to try this first because third basemen come in a lot for bunts, stuff like that. So this would be an appropriate distance for throw from. Come up a couple steps maybe. So I'm going to frame this up before I do anything else with the light on. So when I take action shots, sometimes I shoot shallow at 2.8, but that, in all honesty, is kind of dangerous because you can have something barely out of focus and it's completely soft in the picture because you shot so shallow. But if you shoot at f8 or around that, then you're going to give yourself a lot more chance that even if you do miss a little bit, that it'll still be in focus. So I want to get him hopefully releasing the ball with it in the air, like throwing off balance and coming across the frame. So he's going to be on the left side of the frame, throwing across it like that. So I'm just going to have him stand in his spot where he's at now and take a test shot to see if this is the right place we need to take the picture. Yeah, and I think that's actually exactly where we need to be. Yeah, okay. All right, so now the key is that I'm going to need you to make sure that you come to the same spot every time because you have to be in the light for it to work. Otherwise, you won't be lit up, right? So I guess, and so another good tip too, when you're doing a shot like this, is to put your camera in high-speed continuous. So this will shoot 10 frames a second. So I'm going to go ahead and let him go through the motion once and take just continuous the whole time to see where he's going to look the most athletic, and then aim for that for the time I need to take the shot when he's actually doing it. We've got the light on. Okay. All right. So wherever you want to get. All right, go again. I did not have my camera in high-speed continuous. That would help. Is that a bad throw or did he miss it?
It hit his glove.
Well, he should have caught it then, right? All right, go ahead. There we go. All right. I wonder, what would you think about if we put the ball on that spot and you picked it up and threw it like it's a bunt?
We could try that.
Okay, let's try that and see what that looks like.
Still throw it there, right?
Yep, same thing, yep. Yeah, I like that. Let's try that. Okay. So you were one full step. Okay. Yeah, so you threw it about there, so I'd say maybe like there. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, let me put the light in the right spot. Go stand on that where you're going to release it real quick. Okay, now that we've got the placement of the shot, we're going to turn on the light and test it first by having him just stand there and make sure that we're good. So we were at F5, 6 before. I'm going to go to F8 with that deep focus on there and see what that looks like. Yeah, that's good. Perfect. All right, ready? All right, let's see what we got here. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. So I need to wait a hair longer. Okay. That was good on your part. Let's see. Hang on one second. Yeah, I need to adjust my angle. Okay, so I'm actually going to try to I'm going to change my position and put the light on the other side of him because I feel like this is a better angle to see his face. So we ended up being at 1/2000 f5.6, so I had to come down because the light was so far away. But another good example of if we hadn't had the 800 watt seconds, then that wouldn't have been possible. It would have been a lot brighter in the background. So definitely did come in handy like I thought. Okay, so obviously I'm in different clothes. I'm in my heavy jacket. It is significantly colder today, and I say today because I screwed up. Whenever we filmed this the first time, I had shot with the creators app before in the studio. I forgot about the fact that you have to actually touch the focus. So every picture that I took from above the first time was out of focus, so we had to come back and redo it. So lesson learned. And today we're going to use, the boom worked, but because it's more windy today, we're going to use a ladder instead. Less likely to fall over, hopefully, because I'm going to be on it. But we'll see what happens. So we're going to reshoot those images from above, and then also I'm going to take another action shot too of him pitching from the front with the beauty dish lighting the front of him. I'm going to use, for both of these shots, I'm going to use both the FJ800 and the 400 too. And I'm going to use the 800 for the main light on both of them that's going to be facing him. But I'm going to use the beauty dish, the Manny Ortiz beauty dish, for the front shot, just to show the soft light compared to the hard light that we took the first time. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think that this definitely shows that having the 800 watt second strobe can be beneficial in certain situations. The power definitely came in handy with the action shots, and with that being able to use a soft diffuser and still get a lot of power out of it to underexpose the background. And then the recycle time, the fast recycle time of that, and the FJ402 came in handy when I was taking the pitching action shots, because I was able to get multiple shots rather than having to reset. Took a lot less time to get the shot that way. We really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you did get something out of it, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a like, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notified when we post new content. There's going to be a lot more to come. Make sure you go to Matthernandez.shop, sign up for the newsletter so you know whenever we post new content, release new templates, announce workshops, that sort of thing, so you'll stay informed. We'll see you next time.